Hey everyone, so a lot of you were asking me to do my face routine, and so I'm going to run through that now. We have no makeup on the face, and to be honest, because it's a Sunday, I normally wouldn't bother doing this, but for you, I will make a special effort. And the first thing that I will start with is just use my face moisturiser. And my face moisturiser I'm using is the Yves Saint Laurent Hydra Feel, which I still love. It's the water cream. It's gorgeous, so I will just kind of put my hair back a little bit and get going with that. Just dot it on and blend it in. I don't actually have a primer that I'm using at the moment, so I'm using a moisturiser kind of as a primer, because if it gets my skin smooth, then it's kind of doing the job. And I have actually been using an eye cream, and I've been using the MAC Moisture Lush, which I got a while ago, and I've used quite a lot. So I'm just gonna dab it under the eyes because this kind of reflects light, so it's quite good as a day cream. Tap, 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 done. So I've let all that set in for a couple of minutes, and I'm just going to start with the next item, which is the Makeup Forever Full Cover Concealer, and I have this in number 6, and I got this a while ago. It's still probably my favourite concealer ever because it's quite thick in coverage but blends really, really easily. And on days when I can't be bothered to wear a lot of makeup, I will just wear this in my problem areas and then a bronzer over the top. But I'll just show you where I put it. I just take a tiny amount and I dot under the eyes, around my nose, and then if I'm spotty I'll put it on my chin as well, but I'm okay at the moment. So just as I did with the eye cream, I'm kind of just gently tapping it in, and it takes a while to kind of tap a product in, but it's so much better than just stretching your eye. I'm just going to review in the mirror and see if I look normal. So onto foundation, I'm using Bobbi Brown Moisture Rich Foundation. I use one pump for the whole of my face, and I normally blend it with my fingers, but for the purposes of this video I will use the Sonia Kashuk blending sponge because it's really easy to work with, and I got this from a swap that I did with Kerry of Glimmer Gloss Glow. So I just squirt the foundation out. You get quite a lot in one pump. Take a Q-tip and then I just dot it around my face. Like so. Just take a mirror so I can see what I'm doing. So as you can see, I kind of just put it everywhere. Take the sponge and then I just basically roll the sponge over my skin. And it's really easy. And this foundation in particular blends really, really well. I wouldn't really say this gives it a better finish than using your fingers though. I'm a big fan of blending foundation in with your fingers because it kind of melts the product to body temperature level and it just blends into the skin a lot better. And this part of the sponge, the tip, is the best bit I think because it really does get right into the inner corner of your eye, which is amazing. The only downside of this sponge for me is the fact that it's really difficult to clean. You have to probably buy a separate cleanser for it, which they do sell, I believe, or at least the beauty blender people do. I've been using baby shampoo, but I don't really think it's good enough, so we will see. If you have any recommendations for other things that you've used to clean it, let me know. But I'll just move on to the next step, which is bronzer, and I am back to using NARS Laguna, and I'm back to using this brush, and I like this brush, which is by Essence of Beauty. It's very cheap, available in CVS in the US. I'm using it because it distributes the product really lightly and I don't end up looking muddy, which was happening with me when I was using a brush that was maybe a little bit more concentrated in the bristles. And for some reason I really like this brush, so I just basically take it in the Laguna, swirl it round, and then I will start on a cheekbone and then I'll do the other one, kind of a C shape, nose, little bit, and chin, and that's it. I'm just going to take it, swirl it, and then I'm just going to use C motion into the cheekbone, that side and that side, chin, nose, and then middle of the forehead. And then I'm going to look in the mirror and see how connected I am from head to neck because that's always key. And if I was wearing a lower cut top, I would also blend it on my top part of my chest. And because I have just been sweeping it around my face and just creating like a light veil of a bronzing effect, I can use a separate contour product without it looking too much. So I'm going to move over to my two favourite cheek products of all time, which is Otherworldly from Moonbathe and After Dusk from Moonbathe as well for the apple colour. And I'm going to be using my Crown Brushes brush, which is the 100 tapered brush, quite good quality. And I'm just going to take Otherworldly first, which is a gorgeous golden light tan colour. Maybe if you had purchased anything from Star Warriors you could use Eversun because it's a slightly similar tone. And I'm just going to place it in the hollow and tiny little circles, bringing it up. It looks really pronounced on camera, but in real life it's quite blended. And then I take the excess and I put it on my chin because it's slightly golden, so it's like a highlighter. Excuse the hair, by the way, I'm trying the no heat challenge. I'm not using heat on my hair, and we're into week 2 of that challenge. And then I'm going to use the same brush, and I'm going to use After Dusk, which is a deep berry colour. Again, you could probably use the new blush from Star Warriors to create a similar kind of tone, or Gentle from previous mineralised blush release. There's loads of colours that are very similar to this. It's not particularly as special as Otherworldly is, but I'm just going to basically dab it onto the apple because I want a light glow. And I'm just blending it in to the skin, so it's not just like a pop of colour, it's just sort of a graduated natural kind of look. I might add, if tempted, a highlighter like Vanilla by MAC, but that would generally be it. And in terms of using a powder to set, it's not something I do on a daily basis. Sometimes I feel like it looks too much. If I was going to use a powder, I would use the MAC Mineralize Skin Finish Natural and just a really light dusting of that. Probably with a brush very, very similar to this Essence of Beauty one that I showed you earlier, because it would just create like a really light veil of powder on the skin. But I kind of like it when the skin's sort of left quite dewy and not quite finished, so that's why I don't always use a powder. So before I finish, I'm just going to apply this brow gel to my, what are these called? Eyebrows. And this is Mink. It was a limited edition one that MAC brought out. So I'm just going to drag it over the eyebrow in short strokes. Okay, and then the other one. So that's my face routine. A few of the products have changed in the last few years, but it's still the same kind of order that I apply things, and I always do my face first and then my eyeshadow later. I don't know why, it's just the order that I've always been more comfortable with, so I will probably now just fiddle around with eyeshadow for the rest of the day. But thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Bye.